Darling, why are you being so hysterical? All I ask for you is just to be a stay-at-home wife and cater to my every insecurity and give up your independence, of which I will emotionally manipulate you into believing you will never find love outside of this relationship, of which I will threaten to end my life if you were to ever leave because you're miserable. Stop being so emotional.
Men, we don't know what we did.
Let's discuss the elephant in the room for this one, the production drama. Oh boy. Yes! This is going to be fun, and this is probably going to cause a lot of fire, so wish me luck. Because of all the drama that happened with this whole production, for those who don't know, I'm about to inform you all in a tad bit right now, but let me just get these points across first. When was the earliest recordings of all this production drama that was happening? I think even like this time, maybe like 2 years ago at this point, in fall of 2020, when this movie started shooting, was when all this production drama started to arise and started to just get outsourced to news outlets and just journalists who are just interviewing all the different people working on this movie. Many have chosen to just boycott and avoid this movie altogether. I'm noticing that even my favorite reviewers who tend to review like every new movie that's coming out, they're not touching or even discussing this movie, and a part of me understands why. I completely understand people that just want to boycott this movie for the sake of all of the petty and just despicable shit that's been going on, but I couldn't resist. I just had to see what was the end product of all of this drama that happened. Just my sick curiosity altogether. I'm gonna do my best to outline and just do a quick little pinpoint presentation. Warning, not everything that I'm stating has been proven to be 100% factual. I've collected my research from different videos on YouTube discussing it, as well as just different news articles that seem to say the same things that all the YouTube analysis videos have already discussed. I will link some of these below if you really want to go and research it yourself and find out. I have a hunch that some of these things that happened or have been stated were most likely exaggerated, or they were just blown completely out of proportion with what really happened on set. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm not telling you to completely believe everything that I'm saying, because I have a hunch that the information I'm getting this from also isn't 100% factual, but at least this is what is believed, at least from majority of all the sources I've looked up. They all seem to kind of say the same thing overall. So here's what I'm going to give you. Hopefully that'll save my ass and it won't let all the Harry stands and everybody else just come after me with pitchforks. I have no beef, or nor do I have any quarrel against any of the people involved with this whole production. I don't personally know any of them, and I most likely will never meet these people, and I guarantee that these people will never know my existence ever. So please calm down. It's just a video. I'm not taking sides on anything here. I am just simply stating and rephrasing everything that I myself saw and have been reading online. Here we go. Director Olivia Wilde initially had Shia LaBeouf for the lead male role, but apparently a falling out occurred when she claimed he was difficult to work with and listed a no a-hole policy on set. Soon, Shia LaBeouf spoke out and claimed he didn't get fired, but instead chose to leave the project due to conflicts with the script, scheduling, and Olivia herself. He then revealed that Olivia was begging for him to come back, but he refused. Next thing, Olivia was pushing the casting team to hire Harry Styles for the lead supporting role. Why this was at the time, nobody knew. Production came, and it was soon revealed that Olivia and Harry were hooking up on set. This led to Olivia being absent on set, apparently leaving the lead actress, Florence, Pugh, and the DP to direct many of the scenes without the director, which led to conflict that ultimately ended with Florence and Olivia having a falling out during the distribution phase. The biggest tragedy in all this, Olivia was married to actor Jason Sudeikis for nearly 10 years, and they even have children together. Even worse, apparently it was reported that Jason would visit Olivia on set with their kids, unaware Olivia was having an affair with one of their lead actors. Crew members on set knew, but had to keep their mouth shut. Jason and Olivia filed for divorce prior to the production of this movie, but they finally finalized their divorce and fought over custody of their children during the final stages of production of this movie. And she was even delivered her custody papers literally on video when she was at a press conference for the movie. The end. So that's like the streamlined Spark Notes version of it. A part of me does believe that what I've read here is just kind of blown out of proportion with certain details, just like those stupid YouTubers that do the stupid story times, so they take such a mundane detail of something that happened that all of us go through every once in a while, and they just make it seem like it's such a massive big deal that only happened to them. I hate that shit. The parts that seem to have been proven factual, it just reeks of amateur filmmaking. This is shit that happens on student sets. Having the higher ups hire specific talent or specific crew members in general because of their interest in them on a more personal level instead of what is best for the movie or what is best for the project is just so amateur, it's so immature, it's just silly, it's juvenile, and it just reeks of amateur filmmaking. Now, did all of this drama in the end actually deteriorate the quality of this finished product? Unfortunately, I would say it did. I don't think it is as big of a bomb as a majority of the people on the internet are telling you it is, honestly. I think there were some really real neat ideas with this whole movie. This whole mess, unfortunately, just took attention away from the legitimately great elements and the legitimately talented people that did work on this movie, unfortunately. At this point, this movie is just more popular because of all this production drama instead of the actual finished product. And that to me is just a massive waste of time, talent, and money. That is the take I will say in all of this. I'm not going to take sides and defend any person, whichever side they're on and everything. All I want to do is just support the people who had nothing to do with any of this drama that took place, but unfortunately got sucked into it. With all of that being said, let's actually talk about the movie. Oh yeah, that's right. An actual movie came out of this. We're here to talk about a movie. I forgot. Don't worry, darling. A 1950s housewife living with her husband in a utopia society begins to worry that his glamorous company could be hiding disturbing secrets. The unfocused script, the jarring characters / performances, and the underwhelming execution of an actual brilliant concept for a movie are the biggest detriments to this. And I'm going to segment this video a little bit more so that way it'll be a lot more easy to follow. Let's start with story and concept. The story of a utopia with a fabricated exterior and really a twisted interior is still fresh to me, I would say. Manipulative men gaslighting women into thinking everything is fine and that if they see something strange, it means that they're going crazy. It's actually quite unsettling, and the presentation of Florence Pugh's character seeing the cracks in this fabricated reality were shot and edited sharply to represent a feeling of claustrophobia and paranoia, and it just starts ramping up and amping up as the movie and the story continues. Now, the big reveal, spoiler alert, no way, spoilers for this movie, what? The big reveal that all of this being just a digital simulation, the cliche meme format, we're all just in a simulation. The issue with this plot twist was that it was very confusing to follow for a majority of the movie's runtime, and it wasn't until the final act that all of this exposition was dumped onto us, and there really were not any clues or any indicators that was building up to this twist that would have overall made it a more satisfying conclusion. Following all these breadcrumbs to eventually find this big loaf of bread is what I feel this movie should have done. The first two acts felt as if they just took too long to start revealing all this important information that would piece together the mystery of this utopia, and as a result, the intriguing concept was often boring. I was hoping certain scenes would just keep moving along to get to the next interesting set piece or the next important plot element, but it just felt like it was just taking too long at times. Whether it was just way too much expository dialogue or just performances that just seemed slow and sluggish and just slow down the whole pacing of the movie, the cool concept felt like it didn't have enough screen time to make a big impact, and just the overall lackluster ball buster cliffhanger of an ending of not being able to see the destruction of the simulation and the outcome of Florence's character escaping this simulation afterwards just left me with a big taste of dissatisfaction. And that sucks because the main trailer for this movie was probably the most intriguing and the most mysterious trailer of any movie this whole year. This movie's script just needed more time to work out those story inconsistencies and just those slow moments, but unfortunately I feel like, again, this whole production drama possibly may have altered the ability for Olivia and the other writers to get out more drafts, possibly because of all this drama. Again, I could be wrong, but I just have a hunch feeling that all this drama may have altered their ability to get out more effective drafts of the script. Character and performances. Oh boy, you know who we're going to talk about right now. You know who it is. Now, the first biggest problem I felt like there was just way too many supporting characters with this movie. In terms of character structure, each of these perfect couples that you see in the trailer all were basically just the same template. A perfect, hardworking, charismatic husband with a stay-at-home wife that loves to provide for them and gossip. That's literally it. And we have about 3 of those couples on screen. There's no differentiation between them. I found no benefit to having this many couples on screen that just took up valuable screen time that could have been used to instead further the plot quicker. Florence Pugh comes off so natural, it is absolutely mind-boggling. Such a convincing display of someone that feels the world is just collapsing and coming against her, to the point where she feels like she is really losing her mind, to inevitably have her reality shattered and to prove herself right that there is something wrong going on. It was incredible. I guess we'll call her Flo now, that's her nickname, right? Cute. Absolutely outperforms every other talent she shares a scene with. Chris Pine stands out as the manipulative, methodical charmer. He has control over the situation, and with every scene he is in, he's very devious and intimidating without raising his voice. Olivia Wilde, the film's director, who also acted in it, is there. She certainly is one of the characters of all time. She displays emotions of panic under a layer of calm just fine. She was fine. Nothing exactly memorable, but she served the plot just fine, so I suppose, as just being the one who knew about all the simulation stuff, but deliberately chose to live this lifestyle of being in a fake world because of her kids. Yeah, fine. That's all I can really say. I got nothing else to really say about it. Sorry. Now, Harry Styles. Oh god, the pitchforks, the torches, everything. The Harry Styles stands. I hear them. They're coming for me, man. Oh no, fuck. Guys, calm down. They're gonna dox me. They're gonna release my IP address and everything on the internet. Oh, they're gonna rob me. Now, Harry Styles. Yeah, it was pretty inconsistent for me with him. Do I believe he was as terrible as everyone online is saying? I would say no. There was nothing so beyond offensive to me here about his performance, but I wouldn't go out to say that I feel like he was well prepared and equipped for this sort of role yet. Now, I say yet because I feel like with more years, with more experience, with supporting roles and such, I feel like he could be fine in time, like anybody else who just doesn't have that much experience under the belt. But I feel like he definitely just wasn't ready for this type of role. He wasn't ready to be such a pivotal part of this sort of script. With his prior experience, what is it? Just Dunkirk? Is it just Dunkirk? Because I remember seeing him in Dunkirk. I was like, is that Harry Styles? I mean, that movie more so demanded physical acting from him more so than anything. It was a war movie with very little dialogue. Does that warrant somebody to gain such a pivotal supporting role in this sort of drama thriller? I wouldn't say so. But again, this all happened and he was casted simply because of all of this production drama that took place. Could all of this have been avoided if Olivia stuck with Shia? Probably. I don't know. This is the reality we are in. This is the timeline we are in. I wouldn't go as to say he's the only person that would have failed this miserably. I feel like any actor with this little amount of experience should not be cast into such a pivotal role such as this. Even his physical appearance just did not fit this particular character. His character was supposed to be like a manipulative, intimidating force over Flo, and he didn't seem that way. He looked younger than Flo in these scenes. He's taller than her. That's the only thing that he's got going for it. He just has such a sweet and innocent face to him that he just didn't fit this sort of manipulative man character. A more brooding figure and face would have done this character justice. I would say Shia's appearance is a lot more intimidating than Harry's. Also, his accent. Some lines, it sounded like he was doing his British accent, while other lines sound like he was going for an American accent. Thank goodness the scripts confirmed that his character was supposed to be British. It's even more confusing now, though, because Harry's real-life character, the one who is outside of the simulation, has an American accent. Was the plan all along to just have Harry's character be completely American? Did they bother giving Harry a voice coach, or was his character always British? Either way, when his accent wasn't jarring half the time, his deliveries just felt like they had no energy to them at times. Even Nick Kroll, with his limited minutes, maybe even a minute and a few seconds of screen time, just had way more charisma and outperformed Harry in this film even. So that's all that stuff. Let's go over the stuff I do actually really quite like about this movie. The production design behind this Palm Springs looking utopia is gorgeous. The whole estate is designed to look like just one big eyeball. That was actually a really neat touch, and the idea of this being in a simulation, it matches and it fits, and the imagery comes back to us, the audience, later in the movie. The 1950s building design, vehicles, and wardrobe were immersive, and the upbeat licensed music really played as a nice contrast to the original soundtrack that provided tense, unsettling vocals during moments the cracks in the simulation occurred, as well as all the escape sequences. It was just very stimulating to the eyes and ears. Just the cinematography accompanying these sets is quite nice. It's a very vibrant and colorful looking film, and the artsy dreamlike sequences were very reminiscent of the drug trips of Requiem for a Dream for me. Props to the DP for what he shot with all the bullshit that he had to deal with apparently. On to the poopy stuff. My biggest gripes with the movie are mostly story-based, like I've already expressed at this point. Many plot holes left me with so many unanswered questions. First thing, that slow pacing again, like I said, was just brutal for me. Next thing, at the very end, when this whole simulation was tearing apart and falling apart, the system flaw that they mentioned that allowed the women in this simulation to wake up once they were killed in the simulation, but not the men? The ones that are in control of this whole simulation die for real life if they are killed in the simulation? What? If they designed all this, why would they design it to where they can actually die in the simulation? Wouldn't they make it so their girlfriends or wives will get killed and not them? I don't get it. It just led to a very underwhelming death for Chris Pine's character, unfortunately. Next, it was established that Harry and Florence were already dating before this whole simulation started, and that Harry's character kept Flo's character under control in the simulation while he leaves and works to pay off this whole simulation, to keep it active, basically. He admitted to not enjoying working to pay off the simulation. So if he's still miserable, what was even the point of living in this simulation? I suppose the whole point was to save the relationship, because their relationship was starting to fall apart because he felt like she was spending way too much time time as a nurse and not home. But now you've entered a simulation with her. You're just living the same reality, just swap now. Now you're the one that's like not really home. So what was the point of it? To establish and keep old misogynistic couple customs? Nice. That's stupid. Lastly, when Flo was taken to get her brainwashed to forget the simulation was all fake towards the end, she immediately just remembers everything all over again 5 minutes later. So what even was the point of getting her brainwashed with no dire consequences soon after? All of these story elements just really took me out of the movie. By the end, the squandering of such a legitimately cool concept, and with all of this production value that occurred with this movie, all of this production drama, very reminiscent of amateur student film productions, this is just one that is very mixed to me but disappointing in the end. I'd say structurally, it was like the lowest 6 out of 10 for me, because those elements that were really enjoyable for me were starting to outweigh the elements I didn't like in the end. But with all of this production squabble that happened, just knowing how it was just an unpleasant experience for people that didn't deserve it, who put so much hard work into this, it just drops it down for me. And I'm just gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Squandered potential of an engaging concept with set drama that definitely altered the outcome of the script's quality. Also, I guess any other additional notes that I got to say about it, the whole idea and what I was reading about Olivia stating that this movie was just a big stance on women's sexuality presented and represented. I was thinking, oh, is that all that's going to happen? All the men are just going to get their women off, but not vice versa. That's simple. Kind of saw that coming. That's what I was thinking was going to happen when I was hearing about all that stuff prior to watching the movie. There's something exactly really subversive about all that, I feel. Even all these other channels even say the same thing as I do. There's nothing exactly subversive about this, unlike Booksmart. Guys, if you haven't seen Booksmart, go watch Booksmart. It's so relevant, it's so refreshing, and it's an actual subversive movie. And it's just crazy to know that that was the same movie that was directed by Olivia Wilde as well. It's just a fun coming of age tale. One that is very reminiscent of Superbad, I felt. What Superbad is to millennials, I feel like Booksmart can really be that way for Gen Zs. It's very relatable, grounded, and it's very sweet. The last thing I have to say, I guess, is people claiming that if Olivia was a male director, all this production drama wouldn't matter at all and they would sweep it under the rug. They absolutely would. I absolutely defend and back that up and saying that if she was a man, we would most likely not be hearing about all this. And I guarantee you that a lot of production sets, both indie as well as major budget movies like this, do have that encounterment, and that does suck. With everything that's happened, I think it's fair to, again, boycott the movie and just not support it at all. I get it. I feel like there's a lot of people that are hating the movie automatically because of that. I wouldn't say don't just hate the movie because of all this that happened, hence why I want to go see it and give it a chance. But overall, I do agree. It's disgusting that all this stuff really does happen to many male directors and nothing comes of it. Like, it really needs to end.
Wah, wah.